Hey all, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and today I have for you guys the deck that I'm using to farm Joey Wheeler. Now I haven't farmed him very often because he doesn't really have drops that I'm specifically looking for, but I had a lot of requests for Joey Wheeler farms, and I couldn't really find any on YouTube that are updated or really that give you 8,000, so I thought, hey, I'll take a crack at it. So in this video I'm going to first of all show you guys two decks, one with Union Attack and one without Union Attack. Now this deck is one that uses the Elements Unite skill, which is a skill that is dropped by the Paradox Brothers through leveling up. So it's actually really easy to get this deck, and basically everything within it, besides Union Attack, which is why I have two versions of this deck. So first of all, let's jump into the one that utilizes Union Attack. Alright, so here we go. So first off, some key points that this deck uses. It uses the Vassal way of winning. So you use Gravekeeper's Vassal with Union Attack, because Vassal inflicts effect damage when it does battle damage instead. So that's really awesome. Also, you want to make sure you Secret Pass to the treasure that over so it can attack directly. And here's Union Attack for everybody who doesn't know what Union Attack is. It's the best farming tool there is. It just adds the attacks of all your monsters together onto the selected monster, and then only it can attack during the battle phase. Now, you need 2 Union Attacks to make a plausible farm, which is why we use Spell Reclamation, which is used by discarding one card. You chain this to a spell card, your Union Attack, and then when the spell card goes to the graveyard, you can actually return it to your hand, so you can use it again. So that's how you get around only having 1 Union Attack. It's much better if you could just have 2, but I only have 1. We also use Thunder Dragons to thin our deck, which is really important because you really want to see your trap cards right away, because you may lose if you don't. So Thunder Dragons for the search and the fusion, because obviously Elements Unite gives you the Gate Guardian onto the field, which has 3750 attack. So you need to use that in conjunction with the Thunder Dragon's 2800 attack and Union Attack twice in order to get your Vassal over 10,000 points. I also have 1 Crystal Seer just because sometimes I like to tribute to get some extra points, and Crystal Seer just makes it so I make sure I don't have Spell Reclamation at the bottom of the deck. It allows me to select the card that goes on the bottom of the deck, so that's really key. So make sure you use Crystal Seer at least 1, so that your Spell Reclamation does not end up on the bottom of the deck for any reason. And that's important because obviously you can't activate it the turn that you draw into it. And then for draw power, we just have 2 Shards of Greeds and 3 Jar of Greeds. Definitely don't run 3 Shards of Greed, only 2 because it's kind of cloggy. And then the very most important part of this farm deck, how you're going to make it work and how you're going to live, is that Joey has 2 Time Wizards in his deck. Time Wizard flips the coin. If he calls it right, your monster's destroyed. If he calls it wrong, his monster's destroyed, which, you know, it's a gamble. So to make this farm as consistent as can be, I tossed in 6 cards that can negate and destroy Time Wizards when it's summoned. So first off is House of Adhesive Tape. So if the defense of a monster summoned by your opponent, excluding special summoned, he doesn't special summon monsters, doesn't special summon his Time Wizard at least, is 500 points or less, the monster is destroyed. So this is like a bottomless trap hole or a trap hole, but just for like really weak monsters. So we have 3 of those, and we also have 3 Eat Gababoons, which is just the exact same but for attack. Now with the Elements Unite skill, it's one of the best farming skills out there, as it probably makes you the most consistent. But there is a chance that Joey may draw into his Time Wizard turn 1 and play it before you're even able to draw your first card. So that's where this deck gets a little worrying. Of course, he does have to call it right, so then it becomes a 50% chance on top of that super slim chance. Joey only has 2 Time Wizards, remember, so you only need to ever have 2 of these have been set during the entire game. The rest are just dead cards that you use for your Spell Reclamation and just discarding. So I've only had success with this, but I know there's a possibility that it could fail. So that's why I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. I haven't had it happen to me yet, and I think I've done at least 20 farms with this. So that's kind of how crazy slim those chances are. One time he did get it out, but it was Tails, luckily, so he destroyed his own monster instead. So that's the Union Attack version. I'm going to show you guys the non-Union Attack version now. Alright, here we go. So the non-Union Attack version. Now there's a few slight changes that you have to make in order to make this farm work. So specifically for me, I wanted to get as many duel points as I could, which if you guys are going to watch game 2 of my replay of this, I'm going to show at the very end of the episode, you're going to understand I kind of went overkill. But you don't have to do everything that I did in that farm to get at least 8,000 points, but this deck produces 8,000 points very easily as well. You don't need Union Attack to make it to 8,000. So let's just look at the changes, because I've already explained everything about the core mechanics of the deck. I added in an extra Crystal Seer in case you wanted to tribute summon off your Gate Guardian and one Crystal Seer. You can kind of see it a little bit easier for your Prismatic Blue Eyes. That's going to give you a lot of extra duel points there. I also added in Goblin's Secret Remedy, which adds 600 life points to your 500 to give you 1100. And then you can pay 1000 using this card right here in order to bring yourself down to 100, thus giving you an extra 1000 duel points, so the 500 that you would get otherwise. Also, we only have one Jar of Greed in this deck, and that's so in case he doesn't actually summon out a Time Wizard, you can still get the 100 duel points for activating a trap card, and that's why I have that instead of just 3 Crystal Seers. You need the Blue Eyes in this deck because you need a monster that you can Gift of Martyr over this card right here. So Gift of Martyr sends a monster on your field to the graveyard and adds the original attack to the other monster of your choice. So you bring out Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon instead of your Thunder Dragon, and then you Gift of the Martyr 4500 attack points over onto your Piranha army, which when it attacks directly, it actually deals double battle damage. So it'll deal over 10,000 damage, giving you the 3000 duel point reward, and ensuring that you have a successful farm of at least 7,000, but you should be able to get 8,000 with this if you do everything within the deck. So there you guys have it. Those are the 2 decks that I've been using. I've only had 100% success with this so far, so I really hope that you guys do too. If you do not, I really am sorry, and that's super unfortunate, and I do apologize. If that is your luck, I wish you all the best in your future efforts with the deck. But now let's get into the farms, so I can show you guys how I played the deck, and show you all the tips and tricks you can to make sure that you get the full duel rewards out of the decks. So I'll catch you at the end of the video. Alright, and there you guys have it. I did really well actually with those two farms. I got at least 8,000. I got quite a bit over 8,000 for each one of them as well. Not quite 9,000, but you know, close. And awesomely, I got a super rare from each one of them. So that's really awesome. Quite lucky on my behalf to actually have that happen on camera. But I really hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found this informative. If you have any comments, questions, concerns about the deck, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll make sure I get back to you on any of those. I hope to catch you in the next one, and as always, peace.